and you got problems, what's going to happen when it accelerates? What happens when the pace picks up? Hmm? You see? Because we live what? We're living in an age where the end is fast approaching and the pace has quickened. And some people are noticing and some people are not. You see? But the acceleration is on. There's a push for the finish line. The acceleration, what is the acceleration? Let's start with the question. When you look at the world at large, and even the area that you're in, we can see what's accelerating. You see? So what am I going to say? Let's go where? We need to go to the scripture to see something. And I think that scripture needs to be there. Yes. Because Daniel saw some things in his time. And he was able to compare people. So Daniel chapter 12, verse 4, what did Father tell Daniel? But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Wait a minute. See, now, has not knowledge increased? So we know this is the time of the end. So Daniel shut up some stuff a long time ago. Now it's being revealed because acceleration is picking up to the end. See? He said, shut it up, Daniel. But now look how fast. Remember people used to ride just on horses or walk. Then they went to the train. Now we got planes. You see? Think about this. Knowledge used to double about every 100 years. But then it started when World War II started, knowledge started doubling every 25 years. So what am I saying? Now knowledge is doubling about every year. And some knowledges is doubling what? Twice a day. You can look at little children if these children being born within the age of technology. Just about every little kid can use a cell phone. And they can go to that cell phone and play their games that they want to play without instructions from you.
That's right.
They know more about your electronics than you do. Now, where do they get that knowledge from? It's their world. Like I'm saying, think about it. All the devices and appliances that connect to the internet. Everything that's electronic now is designed to connect to the internet so you can just talk. Give me 3 ounces of water, Fossey. Hey, oven. Preheat to 300. See? We didn't have that when we was growing up. You could just tap the refrigerator door. It'll show you what's inside. Make a list for you. What kind of nonsense? Talking about knowledge increasing. What knowledge I see that's not increasing, that we're not taking full advantage of, is Father's knowledge. The knowledge of doing things His way.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I'm seeing is, on a spiritual level, there is a mass of believers for apostasy. There is a great falling away from the faith and the truth. What am I saying? It's getting harder to run the race because the acceleration and the increase of the false, the counterfeit, just the general opposition of things of Father is what? Rapidly going astray. It's increasing. But that's what Father said would happen. You see? Because Jeremiah already done told us, didn't he? What did we see? You are righteous. Father still righteous, ain't he? Then Jeremiah said, when I bring a case before you, yet I will speak with you about your justice. See, Jeremiah thought that Father wasn't being just because he said, why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do they all live faithful and at ease? You tell them, you have planted them and they have not taken root. They grow. And they have taken root. They grow and bear fruit. You are always on their lips, but far from their heart. Jeremiah said, you know me. You know, you see me. You test my thoughts about you. He said, why don't you drag them off like sheep to be butchered? Set them apart for the day of slaughter. That sounds like the psalmist. When I see the way of the wicked, I almost slip. That's what Jeremiah was saying. Then Father answered him and said, you have raced with men on foot, and they have worn you out. How can you compete with horses? If you stumble in the safe country, how will you manage in the thickest spot of joy? See, things was beginning to pick up in Jeremiah's day, and he was noticing it. Jeremiah began to see things wasn't going in the right direction, so he was asking the same question: how come the wicked are prospering? How come evil seems to be winning? Father, why don't you judge them? Wasn't Jeremiah struggling with it? We struggle with it too, don't we? Because he didn't like what he saw. Do we like what we see? Because it's not easy to see things deteriorate, is it? See, Jeremiah saw that there was a change, but it wasn't for the better. And we find ourselves in the same condition today. So Father answered him, if you have raced with men on foot, and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? In other words, things are about to speed up. The pace is going to increase. If you are struggling running now, what will you do when things really accelerate? We need to ask ourselves that question. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse first. Because he got to let evil run its course. So why was Jeremiah struggling? The same reason we struggle. What was going on in his day that made it hard to take? Let's look at chapter 1. Let's start at verse 14 of Jeremiah. Then Ahiah said unto me, out of the north the evil will break forth on all inhabitants of the land. For behold, I am calling all the families of the kingdoms of the north, declares Ahiah, and they will come, and they, see, he said, and they gonna set each one on his throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all its walls round about, and against all the cities of Judah. So what am I saying? We are living in a day when the spirit of Babylon is increasing. And what is it attacking? Spiritually. Mystery Babylon. You know that spiritual heart of the Revelation 17 and 18. It's got roots in the thought, especially in the Western world. See, you can see that spirit all the way back to Genesis chapter 11, where mankind came together in opposition to the Most High. And what did they do? They built the Tower of Babel. A tower that would reach into the heavens so that they could make a name for themselves, showing how great mankind is. Mystery Babylon will be seen in a one-world religion, where all religions are equally valid, and we all worship the same deity. And you know that's a lie, because you can't put hundreds of things together and talk about you worshiping the same one, because that's a lie. A little leaven, you're right, a little leaven does leaven the whole lump.
Yep.
See, this is what you see. A lot of people is trying to do is say, let us all get together, because we all praying to the same one. No, we not all praying to the same one, because you got to worship him in spirit and in truth. You can't. See, every time we try to see all these different places trying to get together, you know Babylon is coming. That's why he exhorts us, get out of her. Get out of Babylon, meaning get out of what? The spiritual system, and come and do it his way. Don't be a part of that. Recognize that as false. One world government, one world religion ain't nothing but a lie. It's a trick. It's deception.
Right.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 2 through 5 simply says this: go and proclaim in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, thus says Ahiah, I remember concerning you the devotion of your youth, the love of your betrothed, you following after me in the wilderness. Hear the words of Ahiah, O house of Yaakov, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Ahiah, what injustice did your fathers find in me, that they went far from me and walked after emptiness and became empty? A lot of folks today is walking after emptiness. They left the Most High and they walking after emptiness, and now they done become empty. So ain't nothing in them. Just like Father say he remembered it, the love of Israel in his youth, but now they have turned from him. That's what he asking today. Why you left me and walk after emptiness and become empty? You see? Jeremiah 2, start at verse 11. Has a nation changed deities when they were not deities? For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, to hew for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. He say, you gonna replace me with a false religion? See, when people abandon the Most High for something else, they fill the gap with something else. See, because something gonna always fill the gap and void the people. You see?
Yeah, if it isn't the Father's weed, if it isn't the Father,
Look
it's
at what you
a
gotta
whole
look at
bunch of
what
everything
people
else.
are doing.
Drinking, smoking, partying, doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
If you look at it, I want you to play in the Most High name.
If it's not the Father's,
What?
then it's
These governments,
doesn't matter.
they open up with prayer to various what?
Religions.
Various deities. The Eastern Hinduism thing is really prevalent because a lot of folk want to do yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of New Age beliefs in government. Mm-hmm. So, it was said this. It's often supposed that when people stop believing in a higher, they believe in nothing. At last, it is worse than that. When they stop believing in higher, they believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me? Believe anything.
Start believing in anything.
See? What's happening? The prophets want profits. So tell the people what they want to hear.
18 years.
The prophets want money, so they tell the people what they want to hear.
Yep.
Jeremiah 6, start at verse 13. From the least to the greatest, all are greedy for gain, prophets and priests alike. All practice deceit. They dress the wound of my people as though it were not serious. Peace, peace, they say, when there is no peace. They want to put a bandage on stuff. Oh, that ain't nothing serious. Chapter 6, verse 13 and 14. Let's go to 2 Timothy. Second Timothy chapter 3. We'll start at verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. But when men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So people is going to be lovers of themselves and lovers of money, and it's going to be a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, think about it. There is no shortage of prophets saying what people want to hear instead of the truth of the Most High. All you got to do is check it out on YouTube. This there. Because there is countless prophets saying that a great revival is coming to the West.
Oh, this is gonna be one of those. I'm putting them on YouTube right now.
Where is a revival? It ain't over here. It's where it started. It's in Africa, China. You see?
Israel.
Ain't no revival coming over here. People don't even want to be bothered with over here.
I think this is where
You
it
think
should have
about
started.
this. Even our food is so polluted that it's about 50 countries that don't let our food come into their country.
Damn. And people saying, "Oh, our food is good. Our food is healthy."
Jeremiah 6:16.
Right.
What did it say? Thus says Ahia, stand by the ways and see for the ancient paths, where the good way is, and walk in it. And you will find rest for your soul. But they said, we will not walk in it. So Jeremiah saying, we need to go back to the old path, ways, where the good way is, and walk in that. People say, we ain't walking in that. It's old. You gotta be progressive.
It's 2020.
Out with that old outdated stuff. That's what you hear today, ain't that right?
Mm-hmm. That's
The
true.
Father say he don't change. What did he tell us to do?
Not to change.
Don't you know he the only one that's gonna determine where your eternal faith is?
Right.
Where you gonna have happiness or you gonna be tormented day and night?
Do you want to live or do you want to die?
People just want to be selfish. They want to be complacent. They want to have apathy. They want dependence. They want bondage.
Pick one.
They just want for themselves. Jeremiah 23:5-6 say, but the days are coming, declares Ahia, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he will reign as king and act wisely and do justice and righteousness in the land. In his days, Judah will be saved, and Israel will dwell securely, and his name by which he will be called Ahia, our righteousness. So is not Messiah gonna reign 1,000 years and get things straight, and then he gonna loose the devil, and then he gonna have to kill a whole bunch of folk because they ain't gonna do right? Because men love darkness rather than light.
Thanks.
Because who is Yeshua coming for? He is coming for his bride. Luke 21:28 say, when you see these things begin to take place, stand up and lift up your head, because your redemption is drawing nigh. Drop down to verse 36. He said, be always on the watch and pray that you may be able to escape all that is about to happen, and that you may be able to stand before the Son of Man. Y'all see that? We tell you what to pray for. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. Because there's some things that we need to do. We need some let us in Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10, chapter 22. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 22. It says, let us draw near to the higher with a sincere heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience, and having our bodies washed with pure water. Draw near to a higher, because we don't have no strength apart from him. But in him we can do all things. He is the living water. That's what he said to Jeremiah. Then he told Jeremiah the pace to pick up. Let's see the 23rd verse. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. What we believe will become increasingly unpopular. There will be more pressure to turn from it. You're going to start feeling pressure in your workplace to compromise what you believe. But you got to hold fast to the hope that we profess. Because he who promised it is faithful. The promises are real. The prophecies are real. The fulfillment will soon take place. Verse 24. And let us consider how we may spur one another toward and good deeds. Love and good deeds. Yeshua said in John 13:35, by this all men will know you are my disciples if you love one another. You see? And then the 25th verse of Hebrews 10. Let us not get meeting together as some are in the habit of doing. Let us continue to meet together. The 25th verse of Hebrews 10. But let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Why? Because the race is picking up, and things are going to become increasingly difficult. Why? Because think about this. See? Listen to this. In the choir of life, it's easy to fake the words, but one day we will all have to sing solo before the Most High. When you sing in background, you can fake it, but when you the soloist, when you the lead singer, you can't fake it. Revelation 22:12, what did he say? What Yeshua say? Behold, I'm coming quickly. That means I'm coming by surprise or suddenly. He said, my reward is with me to render to every man according to what he has done, whether it is good or evil. So his sudden quick return is linked with what? Rewarding the saints, isn't it? According to what he or she has done in this life. Uh-huh. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. So we must all appear before the judgment seat of Messiah, so that each one may be recompensed for his deeds in the body according to what he has done, whether good or bad. That's what he told the Corinthians, ain't it? Acts chapter 18 and verse 1. And verse 8 and then 12 through 16. After these things, he, talking about Paul, left Athens and went to Corinth. Cyprus, the lead, the synagogue, Thebes, Antioch, with all his household and many of the Corinthians, when they heard we were believing and being baptized. But while Galileo was proconsul of Achaia, the Jews with one accord rose up against Paul and brought him before the judgment seat, or the Bema seat. Verse 13 saying, this man persuades men to worship a deity contrary to the law, talking about their law. But when Paul was about to open his mouth, Galileo said to the Jews, if it were a matter of wrong or of a vicious crime, O Jews, it would be reasonable for me to put up with you. But if there is a question, about words and names on your own law, look after it yourselves, while I am unwilling to be a judge of these matters. And he drove them away from the judgment seat. You see what he said? He said, words, names, no, I ain't even gonna deal with that. Deal with it yourself. What do the book say? He said, no, this is about names. It's in your book. I ain't dealing with it. Well, look at John 19, 10 through 16. So Pilate said to him, you do not speak to me. Do you know that I have authority to release you, and I have authority to crucify you? Talking to Yeshua. Yeshua said, you would have no authority over me unless it had been given to you from above. For this reason, he who delivered me to you has the greater sin. As a result of this, Pilate made efforts to release him. But the Jews cried out, saying, if you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar. He was scared then. Everyone who makes himself out to be king opposes Caesar. Therefore, when Pilate heard these words, he brought Yeshua out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called the Pavement. But in Hebrew, Gabata, Pilate said to them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, we have no king but Caesar. So he then handed him over to be crucified. I want y'all to notice something. I want y'all to notice what did the people do? You know, they cried Hosea, then all of a sudden, their king is Caesar. Because they could see Caesar. The people heart never wanted a king, wanted the Most High as king. They wanted somebody that was king that they could see. See? Let me show you something in John chapter 5, verse 22. Yeshaya said, "For the Father judges no man, but has committed all judgment unto the Son." You understand? Either the Father ain't gonna judge you, I'm gonna be the judge. See? The one who is the Son of the Most High, the King of Kings, who will judge the whole world, stood to be judged by the ones he gonna be judged. Ooh, like he don't know. See, Pilate wanted to let him go, because Pilate was scared. The people, he even got scared of the people, didn't he? That's right, she suffered many things that night before. She told him. Right, he washed his hands. I don't find no fault in it. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10 say, "But we must all appear before the judgment seat of who? Messiah. So that each one may be recompensed for his deeds in the body according to what he has done, whether good or bad." Who judgment seat we going to appear before? And you don't want Messiah? Or are you insane? All men is going to appear before his seat. Let me show you Hebrews 8 and 12. "For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities I will remember no more. And in that he has said, a new covenant he has made, the first one old. Now that which decayeth and wax old is ready to be vanished away." So what did Father do? Father made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that we might become the righteousness of Bahia. Let's look at 2 Corinthians 5:21. I think I'll stop here. "For he has made him to be sin for us who knew no sin, that we might be the righteousness of Bahia in him." Y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
It then gave us some purpose.
This session is no longer being recorded.
So, Philip, you got questions or comments?
Unmuted.
I think I missed a few minutes of it. What was the?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it today.
Oh, thank you.
You can go back and listen to it.
Appreciate that. I was trying to remember what it was.
All right.
No,
what you heard?
No, what you said was.
You heard.
What you said was one thing about keeping like people the new age of what people are doing. You know, the kids are looking at their computers and finding new things out and able to check things on the internet, and it's pretty much whatever they have at their you know, in front of them. They can easily look on the computer and find it easily. But the one thing that you're right that they don't have is keeping the Sabbath and having that in schools, and plus also having that in the homes where the parents are the teachers, and the parents are supposed to teach their children about the scriptures, and that's one thing that they don't have. That they're not.
See, and whose fault is that? That's the parents' fault, isn't it?
Yes.
Because he told the parents to go back to the ancient ways and find the right ways and walk in them. But they said, we ain't going to do it.
Nope.
So therefore, they refuse Father's instructions. So
Now,
that's why the children is running wild.
and therefore, the kids, like in the scripture, it says, I'm probably gonna paraphrase, but says that the kids are going to rebel against the parents, which
And
they're
aren't they
doing now,
rebelling
anyways.
against the parents?
Yeah, they're doing it now,
They
actually.
act any kind of way they want to. They say anything they want to their parents.
And the
But
parents can't do
I
nothing
see
about it.
them in the store and I be like, ooh, boy, look, boy, I'm going to take you to the bathroom and tear your behind up. When you
Mm.
come out, you act right.
And matter of fact, the kids will be saying, "Well, you can't do that because I can call I forgot the place was called for directions for like kids and to get the
Uh-huh.
kids out of the house. That's the place. They all you gotta do is
That's all
say
right. I say call them. Go on and go with them.
facts. I'm like, shit, I can literally,
CPS.
I showed them exactly what you were doing.
CPS. Child Protective Services.
That's what's called. Yes,
They call CPS. I'll call
child protective service.
CPS on you. I say call them. They can come get you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
take. Go ahead. Come on, get it.
And I ain't got nothing to do with it anymore. Sure, you got all you want to do that. Go ahead. You be living with another
Look
family
at
that
now.
don't give a
You gonna
crap
leave
about
my
your ass.
clothes right on here in this house. You ain't taking my clothes with you. You gonna just wear whatever you got on. Go on and go with it.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You gonna see. You gonna wish you was back here.
That's a fact.
You gonna wish you was here.
The kids don't
Cause it
really.
ain't like you think. Cause they gonna whoop your butt for real.
Yep.
See, see, when parents are ungrateful, the children gonna be ungrateful because they ain't seen no grateful.
Hmm. Sure.
Father, see, if you don't treat father right, you got children, he let your children treat you how you treat him. So you can experience what he feeling. So you can feel what he feeling. Because he told you what to do and you don't do it, he said this the consequences of it.
And I be telling people
See,
I be telling people
everything
that.
we do has a result. Whether good or bad, there's always gonna be a result at the end.
Mm-hmm. That's why he says choose wisely, choose the Father, choose Him, choose good. Or it's not
See,
choose, but choose
see,
life.
and even in doing that, what he do? He said things is accelerating. Evil is going to increase because you're gonna get tried to see if you're gonna give up before you cross the finish line. You see, it's gonna be people fight you now. You think to fight now is hard? That's why he told Jeremiah, "Hey, you running this race with footmen. What you gonna do? How you gonna run against the horses? Huh? What happens when it get real hard? What you gonna do then? Quit?
No,
Huh?
can't
Evil is spreading every day, everywhere.
every second.
I mean, evil will fight against itself. So that's why it's principalities and powers. So it's an order, it's a level of evil. You
Like
see?
this, like there's a level of good too, which is Father. He's the main one that people don't understand. That you have to have Him in your life, have to have Him in your family's life. If He's not in your family's life and not in your life, it will show through your eyes, through what you do, what you say, everything.
That's the point right there, what you're saying right there. This is why. Things is accelerating.
Muted.
You have to be able to endure hardness as a good soldier. It ain't gonna be, it's gonna be thorns, more thorns than rose pepper.
Facts.
It might be more bad days than good days. But even that, with that said, we got to always rejoice, because if he's for us, who can be against us? He can fight the battle and win, and we'll win every single time. All we got to do is just be what? Steadfast,
Right.
unshakable, unmovable, and never deny the truth. No matter what. Because it's coming. That's what he's telling us. It's coming.
We need to be ready.
It's going to get real bad. It's going to get to the point where people going to say, now you can't live here if you don't believe like we can do.
It should already be like that anyways.
You can't come to our store.
What's up with that part though? That's what else.
Why you think all these places is rushing and accepting all kind of stuff? You can't tell the world from the saints, because the world is in all the denominations.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no difference.
Unmuted.
And that's the thing though, because I remember someone asked me, a friend of mine and a few other people asked me, well, you called yourself a Jew, and I kind of should have said I did call myself a Jew, because people call people that believe in God Jews or Gentiles or Christian and stuff like that. But I really should have said I'm a believer of the Father, believer of Ahia, and also a saint, because that's what he calls us, his people. He calls his people his saints, the followers of the way. That's what I consider myself now and always. So that's why I should have said then, but I just trying to remember what he says in the scriptures. And what you said about the saints is that the ones that call themselves saints and the followers of the way are the ones that are going to be ostracized and pushed to the side and say, well, y'all can't get this and y'all can't get that kind of stuff. That's what I'm thinking, to be honest. And yes,
it's gonna cause a lot of people that was following to quit following and become what? Empty and not do nothing.
Right? And that's just worse in itself. Just in the same, that's still worse. You're gonna just sit around and be on the fence and not do nothing. You're a hypocrite and also a liar.
So if you empty on the inside, that means you will fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because you desire to be full. So you'll fill yourself up with anything. You'll eat the crab and the shrimp and the lobster and the catfish, so forth and so on, the rat.
Oh, and the bats and the snakes and everything else.
So you'll be full of nothing. You'll be full of abomination.
And the pig too.
You see? And so that means that you will do anything. Opposite of what the Most High wants.
And that's why there's laws and structures in the Bible and also in society, because if there wasn't,
that's why he has his.
Yeah, he has his.
He has his rules.
That's
if
right.
You follow just those 10 rules, those 10, what we call the 10 commandments. I guarantee you're going to be living better than anybody else that won't do it. Because you're going to be closer to the Most High, because you'll be doing what he says.
And he will bless you too.
Showing love to him and love to other people.
And then somebody will say, well, then you're trying to say you're better than the other people. No, that is not true. We're not saying a person is better than another person. You're saying that the Father will bless you if you keep his commandments. and keep his moads, his Sabbaths, what he
That's
tells
right.
you to do. He will
And you
bless you,
showing love to them.
right? He's the one that's showing the love to you, not, and you're showing it back to him, of course, but he's showing it to you by giving you what you ask and what you need of, not what you ask, and also what you need.
Yep. See? Hey, you got something?
And all he asks is just for you to just follow what he asks you to do. It's so simple.
Muted.
And yet, people who once believed were walking away. People who say that they love the Most High and turning their back. Regarding the technology and looking at technology as their God. And
Right?
all this.
Look at that
All of
technology
this
like this,
stuff.
their God.
You can touch it, smell it, feel it,
It's
taste it. All of this is going away.
it's like if they touch it, smell it, taste it,
Well,
that's their God. That's what
how
they
fast
believe
does
in.
technology turn over?
Is
The
technology
cell
is only
phone
as
you
smart
bought
as the
this
person.
year, in 6 months, it's going to be old, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be new technology coming out, ain't it?
That's right. Like the new PlayStation or Xbox, it's gonna be coming out pretty soon. It's the newest one is gonna pop out.
Yeah, you're not
They're
coming
gonna.
through. Your voice is not coming through.
I know.
Unmuted.
I figured. No, it's like the new Xbox and PlayStation and new computers that they pop out nowadays. Like literally within a few months, they're gonna be popping out a new Xbox and new PlayStation, and new computers and all that. All that's gonna be obsolete within a few months from now, after they get it out. Within a year, it's gonna be deleted. It's gonna be obsolete. So what's the point of buying something like that if it's gonna be obsolete within a year? And years go by pretty quickly.
See, what I'm saying is they try to keep you buying stuff. Not just keep the one you got because it's going to do the same thing the other one do.
Only
That's
thing,
new.
only thing that's
It just
different.
might run a little faster. So what?
And that's what he said.
Facts.
Ain't nothing new on this.
Yeah, right. The only thing that's gonna be new is just the fact that they're gonna be watching every little thing you do. That's the only thing that's new. They're gonna get to watch every little thing you do by the machine you bought.
It's packaged.
Yes, package different.
Mm-hmm.
It might be lighter or whatever. The battery might last longer. Oh well. That's, you know, hey, I don't have to have the newest equipment. You know what I'm saying?
The
As
facts.
long as it works, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. If it
But if
ain't
it don't
broke,
work
don't
no
fix it.
more, then I need another one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the messed up part is that they are expecting people to buy new things because they say if you don't buy this, you won't be able to play this, and these other things that go with that because you can't play it on the other system. That's what's messed up too. They bait you to buy the new stuff. They want you to buy the new
Uh-huh.
stuff. Try to get you to buy everything that's new.
You don't have to do all that. That's what they try to get you caught up in their system.
Mm-hmm. The money system.
I don't need that.
That what is yours is mine. What's mine is mine system.
And then the Lord said, teach me, O Ahiah, the way of
Muted.
my statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy Torah. Yes, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Make me to go in the path of thy commandments, for therein do I delight. Incline my heart unto thy testimony, and not in covetousness. Turn mine eye from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. Establish thy word unto thy servant, who is devoted to thy feet. Turn away my reproach which I fear. For thy judgments are good. Behold, I have longed after thy precepts. Quicken me in thy righteousness. That's learning the way of the Most and desiring and delighting ourselves in Him. When we run after every little form and fashion, in taking our eye, we have taken our eye off the Most High, and we have gone astray, like Balaam. We have gone astray, like people who run after riches, run after the fashion of this life. He said it's all going to pass away.
Mm-hmm.
So why waste our time running here and there and trying to keep up with anything and everyone that don't know the Father?
I don't care to
If they
know
don't
the
know the
Father.
Father, you pray for them and you keep your eyes focused on the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to
Because
live
that's what it's all about.
on this planet to work with them. Yes, but you don't have to, you know, be around them all the time and focus your life on them.
Unmuted.
Hmm?
I didn't hear you.
I'm not, I'm saying like you don't, just because we're like living in this world, we don't have to actually follow and do what everyone is doing and following
No,
what they're
we're
saying
not
and all that
supposed.
stuff.
The
We're not
world is
supposed to.
not supposed to be our influence.
We can work
The
with
world
them.
is not our influence.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't follow after it. He said we in the world, but not of the world.
Mm-hmm. We can work with them. We can, befriend them and everything and make money with them and all that, but not after this when the Sabbath starts. They don't want to do the Sabbath. You can even ask them because they can come to do the Sabbath, with us. Especially with me, I ask a lot of people
Yeah,
to come do the Sabbath with
most
me.
of the time people ain't gonna do
They don't
that.
want to do it.
Because they love traditional food.
And this is spiritual. This is not physical stuff. It's all about spiritual. And just the people just don't understand that.
Yeah, they don't want to understand it either.
Nope.
They spiritual, but they got another spirit.
That's why I say when I say I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. When it comes to the Father, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious because religious is something that has to do with men, what man made, man has made, not what the Father has put in down to do. It's what man has put down. I don't believe in that. What I do believe is that spirit. The Father is the Spirit, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and He's the one that is teaching us what we need to do in His Word. And that's what I believe, and I do definitely believe in a high share higher. And
All right.
it's just hard trying to explain to people like that because they figured, oh, being spiritual is something totally different. Because I have a friend that's is spiritual, but his type of spirituality is totally different than what I'm talking about. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they're thinking when they hear me when I say spiritual. They're thinking of that different side, but I'm not talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Everybody got their own thoughts.
That's true. Ooh,
But let us hear the whole conclusion of the matter. Fear higher, keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. For high
Muted.
every work and to judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
That's facts.
It's him. He gonna bring it together, good or evil, and you gonna get a reward for this good or evil.
Right. Pick wisely.
Okay?
Yep.
Unmuted.
Okay, you can give us the benediction.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. Semlahayas mereka. Asanabana valeka vivuneka. Ahaya Babaleka Shalom. Amen. May I bless you, keep you. May his face shine upon you and grant you peace. We all say in Yeshua's name. Amen.
I mean, shalom.
Shalom.
Muted.
Hey.
Shema Israel, Yahweh Elohim Echad. Hear, O Israel, Ahaya Asher, Ahaya, Ahaya is word. Blessed be his name, his glory is kingdom forever. You shall love Ahaya Asher, Ahaya, all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Shine his name.
Amen.
Okay.
Unmuted.
Hey, Philip.
See you. Amen. Love you guys.
Later. Be blessed.
You too as well.
Okay.
Oh, I won't be here next week, of course, because I'm gonna be having to move. But definitely love you guys.
Move it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be blessed.